Is Ananta finally releasing in Q3 of 2026? Well, we still don't know for sure. Recently, a new image started spreading online showing that the game could potentially hit a major milestone by the end of Q3 this year. But before you get too excited, nothing has been officially confirmed yet. Still, whether Ananta launches in late 2026 or slips into early 2027, here are 10 things you absolutely need to know before the game releases. At first glance, Ananta looks like just another anime gacha RPG. But here's the crazy part. The developers have already confirmed that the game won't have a traditional gacha system at all. So then, how do you unlock characters? From what was revealed during interviews and events like Tokyo Game Show, characters are actually unlocked through gameplay progression instead of summoning. Yes, seriously, every character is expected to become obtainable simply by playing the game. And it gets even more interesting. Some characters might even require hidden quests or special objectives before you can unlock them. If this system stays in the final release, Ananta could instantly stand out from almost every major anime RPG on the market.
One of the biggest reasons people instantly got hyped for Ananta was the movement system. Characters aren't just running around normally, they're grappling through buildings, wall running, jumping across rooftops, sliding through the city, and moving at insane speed. The traversal almost feels superhero-like at times. And if the final game actually keeps the same fluidity shown in the trailers, exploration could easily become one of Ananta's biggest strengths. Most open-world anime RPGs still rely on pretty basic traversal systems, but Ananta looks like it wants movement itself to be fun. What makes it even more interesting is that traversal seems tied to each character's personality and abilities. For example, the Spider-Man-style grappling movement appears to be mostly limited to the main character, while characters like Taffy can transform their weapon into a scooter-like vehicle for movement instead. Then you have Richie, who's actually a police officer and can seemingly interact with the world in unique ways tied to her role, including police-related activities. Small details like these make the world feel way more immersive, and they help the characters feel unique beyond just combat abilities. Combat is another area where Ananta completely surprised people. Instead of relying purely on flashy ultimates, constant character rotations, or ability spam like most anime RPGs, Ananta seems to be taking a very different approach. The combat looks far more grounded and physical, almost like a mix between martial arts action and stylish fighting games such as Sifu. A lot of the gameplay we've seen focuses on close-range hand-to-hand combat, smooth combo chains, dodges, counters, and environmental movement rather than just filling the screen with effects every few seconds. And honestly, that could be a huge reason why the game stands out. Many players are starting to get tired of combat systems that depend entirely on flashy animations and ultimate spam. So Ananta's more grounded approach could feel really refreshing. But that doesn't mean the combat lacks variety either. From what we've seen so far, the game also includes different weapon types like guns, flamethrowers, grenades, and possibly even more specialized gadgets depending on the character. So instead of every fight feeling the same, Ananta looks like it wants combat to feel dynamic, stylish, and creative at the same time. Another huge reason the community is already obsessed with Ananta is the character designs. Almost every trailer introduced stylish and memorable characters that instantly stand out from each other, not just visually, but also through their personalities and overall vibe. You have characters like Taffy with her rabbit ear design and energetic personality, Richie with her tail and police officer aesthetic, Seymour who gives off that mysterious hacker and enigma type vibe, Eileen with her elegant maid-style appearance, and even the cowgirl character who instantly became memorable the moment people saw her. And honestly, that's one of Ananta's biggest strengths so far. The cast actually feels distinct. Every character seems to have their own identity, style, and unique charm instead of blending together like generic anime RPG characters. The modern urban fantasy setting also helps the designs stand out even more because the characters mix street fashion, supernatural themes, futuristic aesthetics, and personality-driven details all together. And somehow the craziest part is, from what we know so far, every single one of these characters will be obtainable completely for free just by progressing through the game. Now that we've talked about the character designs, let's also talk about something that makes Ananta even more interesting: character customization. And honestly, this system looks way deeper than most people expected. From what we've seen so far, characters can wear different outfits and even mix and match various clothing styles instead of being locked to just one appearance. Players can apparently visit clothing shops inside the game world and purchase different outfits, accessories, and fashion items for their characters. So, on top of every character already having their own unique design and personality, you'll also be able to customize how they look yourself. The whole system honestly feels closer to something you'd see in games like GTA 5 rather than a traditional anime RPG. And that's such a smart idea because it gives players way more freedom to connect with their favorite characters and personalize them however they want. In most anime games, customization is usually very limited, but Ananta seems to be turning fashion and self-expression into a major part of the experience itself. And honestly, I can already tell I'm probably going to spend hours just messing around with outfits when the game finally launches. Yes, you can actually drive vehicles in Ananta. From everything we've seen so far, vehicles aren't just there for decoration. They seem to be fully integrated into both exploration and gameplay. And it gets even crazier because the game also appears to include public transportation systems like trains, making the city feel even more alive and immersive. But probably the most interesting part is the vehicle customization. From what has been hinted at so far, players may be able to customize their own vehicles in a way that honestly feels surprisingly similar to GTA 5. For an anime-style game, that's actually a really unique idea. We're not just talking about one or two cars either. The game seems to feature a variety of vehicles, including supercars, trucks, motorcycles, and possibly even more as the game expands. And if customization really is as deep as people expect, this could become one of the coolest features in the entire game for car lovers. Most anime RPGs barely focus on vehicles at all. Meanwhile, Ananta looks like it's turning them into an actual part of the experience. Yes, Ananta will apparently feature an interactive dating system, where players can spend time and go on dates with their favorite characters in the game. And honestly, this could make the characters feel far more personal and memorable compared to traditional anime RPGs. Instead of characters only existing for combat or story missions, the dating system gives players a chance to build deeper connections with the cast and interact with them in a more immersive way. But surprisingly, that's not the only unusual feature the game seems to have. Ananta also appears to include a wanted system, something that will instantly remind a lot of players of games like GTA 5. We still don't know exactly how this mechanic will fully work yet, but from the information available so far, players can apparently get arrested after committing crimes inside the city. Whether the system ends up being simple or extremely detailed, it already adds another layer of immersion that most anime games don't even attempt. If you've played games like GTA 5, then you'll probably recognize one of the coolest systems Ananta seems to be experimenting with: character switching. From what we've seen so far, players may be able to switch between characters in real time, with the camera zooming out into a top-down view of the city before transitioning directly into another character's perspective. And honestly, that alone already looks incredibly cinematic. But what makes the system even more impressive is that the characters don't just magically appear out of nowhere when you switch to them. They actually seem to have their own daily routines and activities happening around the city. For example, switching to Taffy might show her casually taking a nap on a bench, while switching to Richie could show her driving around the city or doing police-related activities. Small details like these make the world feel far more alive and believable, because the characters feel like actual people living inside the city instead of NPCs waiting for the player to interact with them. But here's the biggest challenge Ananta faces in 2026: expectations. The trailers looked so good that now people expect the final game to deliver on everything: smooth optimization, massive content, great customizations, good story, high-quality updates. And if even one major part disappoints at launch, the backlash could be huge. So while the hype is real, the pressure is also massive. Whether Ananta succeeds or fails, one thing is already clear: it's pushing the genre in a completely new direction. Instead of medieval fantasy worlds, it's proving that urban supernatural settings can work on a massive scale too. And if the game actually lives up to its potential, we could see a whole new wave of anime games inspired by it over the next few years. So yeah, Ananta is easily one of the most ambitious anime games heading into 2026. But the real question is, can it actually live up to the hype? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Ananta the next big thing, or are expectations way too high? And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe it'll make Ananta release faster. Thanks for watching.